ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे तु जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. I thank Chinmaya Mission Mulund, Deepak ji and the whole team for this wonderful opportunity to have satsang today and tomorrow. I used to see many times in the magazine that the whole Chaitanya Navaratri, every day there's some satsang happening in the evenings. It'll be very inspiring. So our topic is Dharma based on Ramayana. Once a young person, a youngster, he went to Puja Gurudev and he asked Puja Gurudev, Swamiji, who is an ideal person in life? And instantly Gurudev looked at him and replied, don't look for an ideal person in life. Look for an ideal in every person you meet. Very powerful statement. Don't look for an ideal person in life because you won't find one. Look for an ideal in every person you meet. And then he added, but if you still want to know who is an ideal person, there is only one, and that is Shri Ram. See the clarity, what Gurudev had. Fantastic. What we do in life is we try to find ideal person. And each of us as human beings, we have some or other flaws. And so when we idolize anybody and then we look up to them, till we see their ideals and we see their goodness and we see the positive aspect, we are fine. But the moment we see some mistake, some flaw, some negativity, then we start getting disillusioned. So the advice Gurudev gave, especially to the youngster, he said so beautifully, don't look for an ideal person, look for an ideal in every person you meet. That is such a beautiful way that we can learn from everybody. There's something good, inspiring in each one, and let us learn from everyone. See, Bhagwan Ram, if you see in his life, he did both this. He himself was an ideal person, but he learned from so many people, set up that standard. So we will see about his life, a beautiful lesson, lots of beautiful lessons we can learn from his life. So who was Bhagwan Ram? He is avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu. But what is the purpose of that avatar? See, we have to know very clearly the purpose of every avatar. Then we understand why and how to relate to that avatar. For example, Mohini avatar. What is the purpose of Mohini avatar? Purpose of Mohini avatar is to delude. Once we know that the purpose of Mohini avatar is to delude, then as a seeker, we don't need to worship Mohini avatar. So it's not that every avatar has to be worshipped. Bhagwan has to be worshipped, but many avatars of Bhagwan we don't need to worship because that objective for a seeker will not be fulfilled. Bhagwan took the Mohini avatar to delude the demons so that the Amrit can be given to the Devatas. So what is the purpose like that of Bhagwan Ram's avatar? So first of all, we have to know who is Bhagwan Ram. He is that Supreme Brahman alone. Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dashrath Atmaje. That Supreme Brahman of the Vedas, has appeared in the house of Dashrath Maharaj as a human being. Purpose of Bhagwan Ram's avatar is to teach the human beings Dharma Paripalanam. That's why we say Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. He is an embodiment of Dharma. How to live Dharma as a human being, that is the purpose of Ram avatar. Krishna avatar purpose, very different. In Krishna avatar, Bhagavan did so many Ishwariya Leelas, which he did not do in Ram avatar. Because the purpose of Ram avatar is what a human being can do. And how strange it is that we don't understand this purpose and we say Ramji's life is very ideal. We can't live like Ram. Krishna is more relatable. How? Try doing what Krishna Bhagavan did. एक सूटकेस हम उठा नहीं सकते. For that we need a laborer, coolie, somebody, some servant, maid, help, somebody. Bhagavan lifted the whole Govardhan mountain on one small little finger. Try. Krishna's life is more relatable. No, try. 16,008 wives he had. One wife, we can't keep her happy. That wife keeps on complaining, you don't give me quality time. Not one wife of Krishna Bhagavan ever complained to him that you don't give me quality time. And Bhagavan is managing the entire creation. So that's why the saying is, live as Ram Bhagavan lived and follow what Krishna Bhagavan said. Don't try to do the ulta. Don't try to live like Krishna Bhagavan. We cannot. So Bhagwan Ram's life is really very relatable and we will see today how. If we understand the purpose of the avatar, Bhagwan's purpose is that to show to human beings how to live Dharma. We may say, Swamiji, that in Treta Yuga, Bhagwan Ram came. Situation of Treta Yuga is very different, Swamiji. We are in Kali Yuga. How can we live in Kali Yuga? That what Ram Bhagwan lived at that time, it is not possible. We will see how we can live. So first of all, what is the meaning of the word Dharma? Does the word Dharma mean only religion? It has one meaning, religion also. Does Dharma mean only some code of conduct? What to do, what not to do? Does Dharma mean some rites and rituals? Does Dharma mean that we should just do some duties? Putra Dharma, Pita Dharma, Sakhi Dharma, like that, What is the Dharma? So duties. So Dharma may have many different meanings, there is no doubt. And like Gurudev would say, many words of Sanskrit cannot be adequately translated into English. So the word Dharma, the etymology of the word Dharma is Dharayate iti Dharma. That which upholds everything, that which unites everything, that which integrates everything, that is called Dharma. So, when we say Dharma word, what is it that unites everything? You are understanding, right, what I am saying? English is okay, no? What is it that unites everything? Soul. That is true, no doubt. Soul is same in all of us. That is one level, highest level. Anything else that unites all of us? Values. Values, each one follows different values. No? Love. Love is that which will unite everybody, including the plants, birds, animals. The whole creation is held together by love. The moment that love goes away, selfishness comes. The moment selfishness comes, there will be pettiness, fights, attachments, violence, destruction. All that will happen. What upholds everything is love. When does love arise? When does love arise? For example, a mother loves the child, a patriot loves the country. So when does that love arise? When there's a relationship, oneness. Where you see oneness, no, there love will arise. Who said oneness? Very good. One round of applause to everybody who said oneness. That's a very important point. Where there is oneness, there will be love. A mother feels my child. There's an identification. Gurudev used to say love is what? Identification with the beloved. A patriot feels one with the country, my country. If you read Swami Ram Tirtha's description about the country, it's fantastic. He says, I am the country. Himalayas is my head. The rivers are the trees. Rivers are my long hair. And he says, when I walk, I feel the country is walking. When I breathe, I feel the country is breathing. His whole identification is, I am one with my country. It's fantastic what he wrote. He feels one. So many times people also feel, no, when we go from here to abroad, suddenly we feel, Arey, Indian, bhai. In India, we may not have that much of camaraderie, but the moment you go out there, we are Indians, Bharatiya. Here we have Gujaratis, Kim Cho Majama, they will all keep meeting. Or all Malayali, South Indians, Northeast, everything, that there's some identification, there's a bond. So where there is oneness, there is love. Where there is love, there will I want to hurt? I will naturally follow values. I will naturally be good. And where there is love, I will naturally do my duties also. So these four are very important. Dharma means the vision of oneness, which brings love in our heart, which brings naturally the value systems that we will follow, and then as a result of it, we will do our duties. That vision of oneness is expounded in our scriptures, so the scriptural study, etc., will give us that knowledge. Now, when we say avatar of Bhagwan happened, Ramji's avatar happened, why did the Ramji's avatar happen? To re-establish Dharma. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, why did Dharma samsthapana has to happen? Because Dharmasya glanihi yada yada bhavati abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever decline of Dharma happens and rise of adharma happens. Swamiji, it is the right time. Bhagwan should come now. Because Dharma is declining. And Kali Yuga is increasing. Adharma is rising. This is the right time for Bhagwan to come. Bhagwan didn't say he will come when Dharma declines. He said when Adharma rises. He said when Dharma declines, meaning when people are not able to live righteously the higher way of life, in spite of their best efforts, then there will be the avatar of Bhagwan. It can be for one person, it can be for the whole community. For Prahlad, Bhagwan came, one person. Or Ram avatar happened for the whole community. Because in spite of trying the best, people are not able to live. Are we able to live or not? Right now, is there any Rakshas who is trying to prevent us from doing satsang? We are doing happily. Of course, Dharma is declining, there is no doubt in that, but still there are righteous people who are able to live without compromise, who are able to follow their Dharma. So it is not yet the time. And when the time comes, Bhagwan comes when the final emergencies happen. Otherwise, he will keep sending different people, saints, sages, they will keep coming. So when Bhagwan's avatar happened, Dharmasya glani bhavati. So we have to understand what is the Dharmasya glani. See, it is said in Ramayana, when Bhagwan was in the Vanvas, he also saw in some places huge piles of bones. Even when he went with Vishwamitra Rishi, piles of bones. So he was stunned. He says, what is this? Vishwamitra Rishi said, these are the Rakshasas who have killed the Rishis. And their bones are heaped up like this. So those Rishis, they were doing Yajna, Yaga, etc. and they are not able to do. Those extreme times. So we may think that Treta Yuga was so much better. No doubt Treta Yuga at that time is from the Yuga standpoint, Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. It keeps going down. The Dharma Paripalanam keeps going down. But even at those times, there were terrible atrocities that were happening, and so Bhagwan's avatar happened. Now, when Bhagwan's avatar happened, did it happen only to kill the asuras? Bhagwan's avatar happened for the first reason is Paritranaya Sadhunam. Then second one is Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. So to protect the sadhus, to protect the good people, to protect the seekers, avatar of Bhagwan happens. When avatar of Bhagwan happens, Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. Three main purposes. Now that Dharma, when he has to establish, how does Bhagwan establish Dharma? It is not just by killing the Rakshasas. That is a very minute part of his whole Leela. Dharma Samsthapana happens throughout the life of Bhagwan. In fact, Dharma Paripalan he starts doing even before, even from the time of birth. Those of you who have studied Valmiki Ramayana, you know that Devatas, etc., they went, with Brahmaji and they prayed because Prithvi Mata also took a form of a cow and went and asked Bhagwan, ki, please help us. This Ravan is, doing so much of atrocities. Please help us. We are helpless. And Bhagwan agreed to come down. Tulsi Ramayana gives other reasons also. Bhagwan gave the vachan to Manu and Shatrupa that I will be born as your son. Bhagwan took up the curse of Narad Muni. Narad Muni was not able to marry that Vishwa Mohini. Bhagwan actually saved him. But in that anger, Narad Muni got so upset and he said, you gave me the face of a monkey and so you will have to be born on the earth. You will be separated from your wife and you will have to take the help of these monkeys. Bhagwan took the curse for no fault of his. Now just think about it. You and I cry in this world, no? Swamiji, I didn't do anything, but they are accusing me like this. Swamiji, what did I do? How can they talk like this about me? Are Naradji spoke like that too. Bhagwan gave a curse to Bhagwan. Bhagwan voluntarily just took it up. Then he also gave the boon to Prithvi Mata. So Vachan Purti is the first part of Bhagwan's Dharma. How Dharma Samsthapana he does. Vachan Purti. What word he gives, he will keep up that word. In today's world, one of the biggest challenges we have is what? Trust issues. No? People have trust issues. Why trust issues are there? Because there is no transparency in relationships. There is no truthfulness. What one is thinking, what one is feeling, what one is saying, very different. And how one is acting, completely different. So one can't trust. The very meaning of the word Kali is that Kali means cunning. So Bhagwan did Vachan Purti. From the moment of his birth, his Dharma Samsthapana has started. He gave Vachan to Bhagwan, to Manu Shatrupa, and he is born to Dashrath and Kaushalya Mata. Vachan Purti. Giving a word and keeping it up is a very, very important aspect. Today we take it for granted. We tell somebody we will do, then we forget, we don't do, or we wantedly tell lies and then we don't keep it, keep the word. So many challenges happen in relationships. We want to please somebody by putting up a false show. And most of the movies you see how will one boy try to please one girl or the opposite. Who they are, they will not show as they are. Then they will put up some false show and then they try to impress, all that nonsense. So, Vachan Purti is the first thing. And if you see, Bhagwan kept up that Vachan throughout his life. To anybody, if he has given a word, he will keep it up. So, when we want to understand Dharma, see why we should follow Dharma first of all. Because unless there is Dharma, there is no harmony in life. What is the foundation of a good relationship? Dharma, values, duties. If somebody doesn't do duties towards, let us say, children don't do towards parents, parents don't do towards children, teacher doesn't do towards the student, we don't do towards our country, how will the relationship thrive, prosper? How will each one, even live? So, foundation of a good relationship is dharma. Foundation of any integrity, any success, achievement is integrity. That is dharma. One can achieve great things, but by corrupt means, if one does it, one falls from grace. So many scams and scandals that used to come out. How disappointing is that? So, foundation of a happy life, foundation of a successful life. People may feel that without, compromising on dharma, I can be successful, but that is a very, very, narrow thinking. Chanakya said very clearly, Anyayena uparjitam vittam dasha varshani tishtati, prapte tu ekadashe varshe samulam cha vinashyati. If you acquire wealth by anyaya, adharma, then maximum it can stay with you 10 years. 11th year, it will get destroyed with your capital. Samulam cha vinashyati. Finished. Meaning, whatever good wealth also you have acquired, all the wealth acquired with unrighteous means, it will destroy everything. Don't go by number of years. Go by the principle. Don't say कि 10 साल से ज़्यादा हो गया, ये आदमी corrupt है, मुझे पता है. Go by the principle. So the point here is adharma cannot be a foundation for a happy life, successful life, good relationships. And as spiritual seekers, we all know that if we want to realize Brahman, it is not possible to realize Brahman without purity of mind. And purity of mind comes only through dharma. Vairagya comes only through dharma. In Tulsi Ramayana he says that dharmate virati jogate jnana. Only through dharma one will get vairagya also. So dharma is a very, very important aspect. If we don't focus on dharma, in any aspect of life there will be compromise, there will be sorrow, there will be suffering. And so very important it is to have uncompromising abidance in dharma. In fact, Gurudev used to call this value as Satyam. Many of you who have studied Gurudev's works, you know that 3 pillar stones of Sanatan Dharma are Satyam, Ahimsa and Brahmacharya. In that, Brahmacharya is moderation at the physical level, Ahimsa is at mental level, and Satyam is at the intellectual level, where we don't compromise with our ideals and our values. Bhagavan Ram was like that. No compromise ever. If he has given a word, he will keep up that word. And to whomever he gave that word, he kept it up. That is one. His father had given a word to his mother. He kept up that word of his father also. That is the beauty there. It's very interesting. I was studying for this talk. Then I came to know that Dashrath Maharaj, when he married Kaikeyi, he had given a promise to Kaikeyi and the father that her children will become the kings, successors. He had given that word. And so when he had to decide that Bhagwan Ram should be the crown prince, wantedly he decided at a time when Bharatji was in the mama's place, maternal place. So Dashrath Maharaj didn't want to keep up that word. Not that he had forgotten, he knew. And even after even when Kaikeyi asked the boons, he was very reluctant to keep up his promise. He tried to bargain, he tried to do many things there. So Dashrath Maharaj, his father, had sometimes these tendencies, but the son did not have. Bhagwan Ram was very clear. What vachan is given, that has to be followed. The foundation of all dharma will start from here. Vachan Purti is, it will show the mindset of the person, the values that the person has, the importance that person gives to truth. So first is Vachan Purti. And if you see in Ramayana, he gave the Vachan to all those, I said the cause for avatar, then the Vachan that he gave to his father that yes, I will follow, I will go to forest for 14 years. When he married Sita ji, again very interesting, the vows that he takes in the marriage. So Dashrath Maharaj had how many queens? He had 3 main queens. He had many queens. How many wives did Bhagwan Ram have? Bhagwan Ram set up the ideal of Eka Patni Vrat. So when he married Sita ji, he had promised, I will not marry anyone else. And whole life he kept up that. He didn't marry. His father has set another example. He didn't say that I will follow that. This is called having clarity of your convictions in Dharma. He lived by that. The vow he gave to Sita ji. The promise he gave to Sugriv that he will free him from fear. He will ensure that Vali is killed. He kept up that promise. To Vibhishan, he kept up that promise. So everywhere you see, I'm just giving a few examples. Wherever Bhagwan gave a word, he kept up that word. That he will not compromise. So that is first thing to learn from his life is Vachan Purti. Second thing to learn about his life is, as a child also, we find that he had a lot of qualities of obedience. In Tulsi Ramayana, if you see, when Bhagwan Ram's Janma happened, there is a beautiful stuti, Bhai Prakata Kripala, Dina Dayala, Kausalya Hitakari, Harashita Mahatari, Muni Manahari, Adbhuta Rupa Vichari. Beautiful. In that it is said that he manifests as in the Chaturbhuj Roop, Nija Ayudha Bhujachari. And Mother Kausalya, she is very happy to see him. And she says that Ki Jai Shishu Leela. Please do Shishu Leela. I have seen this form of yours. Now please become a small child. And the moment the mother says that, what does Bhagwan do? All the 4 Chaturbhuj Roop that he had with Ayudh, everything that is born, everything gone, disappears. He becomes a small baby in front of Mother Kausalya. He follows instructions. From the moment he is born, obedience. His father, you see his Dashrath Maharaj, I am not trying to criticize him, but I am just trying to show the contrast. You will understand well only if you understand Dashrath Maharaj's character. Dashrath Maharaj, when Vishwamitra Muni came, he welcomed Vishwamitra Muni. This is when Bhagwan Ram has grown up and he is now a teenager. And he told Vishwamitra Muni that whatever you desire, I will give you. And he did all the satkar. I am talking from Valmiki Ramayana. And when Vishwamitra Rishi asked that, please send Ram with us to protect the yajna, he says, Ram is such a teenager, he does not even know how to use weapons and, Rakshasas are there, how will he fight? No, I cannot send, I will come, my whole army will come, but I cannot send Ram. So he had just given the vachan to Vishwamitra Rishi that whatever you seek, I am here to serve you, I will give you that. And that next instant, what does he do? He changes, he says, no, I can't send. Luckily, Vashishta Maharshi is there and he advises him and all that story you know. So the king got attached to the son and he didn't keep up the word. Think about it. Finally, when Vashishta Maharshi convinces him, he agrees. And very interesting in Valmiki Ramayana, it is the word used there is, you send him, his kalyana will happen. Kalyana word has 2 meanings. Good of Bhagwan Ram also will happen and his marriage also will happen. Vashishta Maharshi is a Trikala Jnani. So he said, you send. I forget the exact shloka, but the word Kalyana is there, I remember that. So he obeys the father. He goes with Vishwamitra Rishi. Then whatever Vishwamitra Rishi says, he obeys there. It's very interesting in Bhagavan Ram's life, how he follows obedience. See, not only as a child, of course, one should be following obedience. Why? Because we don't have our own vivek, we don't have experience, we have to rely on the elders and the parents. At that time, one learns to obey. And that obedience, if one knows why one needs to obey, it will help the person to develop vivek shakti. It will help that person to overcome likes and dislikes. Because as a child, what does one know? Many things one doesn't know. But the parent knows this is good for the child. If one obeys, it will help. So, as a child, of course, Bhagavan Ram was very, very obedient. But even as a teenager, most of the time teenagers are very rebellious. And what the parent says that the teenager wants to do the ulta. And because many times they think, I know everything. Our Guruji tells one very nice joke. PJ, he says that, so one father called his son, teenager, says, Beta, come, let's talk about life. So the son says, yes, daddy, tell me, what do you want to know? That's the teenager's reply. A small child always asks the question, tell me why. Tell me why the rains are happening. Tell me why the clouds are moving. Why the sun is rising. Why should I eat this? Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. But when the child grows from tell me why, the question changes to why tell me? Mom, chill, I know everything. Why tell me? But when one becomes adult, then one says, tell Bhagavan, why me? Why did this happen to me? So as teenagers, one is very rebellious, but Bhagavan Ram is very obedient. Very interesting it is when he goes with Vishwamitra Rishi, the first asura he kills is a woman. Who is the asura whom he kills? Tataka, she is a Rakshasi. So Bhagavan Ram hesitates and he tells Vishwamitra Rishi that, she is a woman and I am Kshatriya and I am a man and how can I do violence on women? It is not acceptable. So you please tell me what should I do? I don't feel like killing. Vishwamitra Rishi then shows that heap of bones and he explains to him the wickedness and how it is important to destroy the evil and how it is a Kshatriya Dharma to do that. So finally he obeys. Though he doesn't like it, what does he do? He still does his Dharma. He will kill Tataka. Then Vishwamitra Rishi said, come, we will go to Mithila. He didn't tell Vishwamitra Rishi that daddy had told only to go till Yajna, now I have to come back. Now one teacher asked in a school, a philosophy class going on. So teacher asked, small children are sitting, religion class actually. So she asked, how many of you want to go to heaven? So many people raised the hand. Small, children. One boy, he didn't raise the hand. So the teacher said, why you have not raised the hand? So he said, because my mummy told me to come straight home after the school. That kid was very cute. Ram Bhagavan didn't say like that. Daddy sent only to protect the yajna, now I have to go back, I am missing my house, my mummy, nothing like that. Vishwamitra Rishi said, go, let us go to Mithila. He went. So that's where second quality is obedience. See, I have chosen very few simple things that we can apply because otherwise we think that Ramayana is very idealistic, Bhagavan Ram's life is such that you cannot apply. There are so many things. We can apply Vachan Purti or not. We can apply obedience or not. And I told you that how Bhagavan applied his vivek. He knows when to obey his father and when not to obey. The father was compromising. He didn't compromise. The contrast that I was trying to tell you is this. How Bhagavan Ram lived as a king and how Dashrath Maharaj was a king. You see the difference. Uncompromising values Bhagavan Ram had. That's why he had to send Sita ji away. Dashrath Maharaj used to compromise. Though he is a Chakravarti Samrat and though he is somebody who has helped the Devatas in all the wars and everything, but he still had that weakness that he would compromise and his mind would be weak. Bhagwan Ram, not at all weak. That's where we have to see the difference. Tomorrow we will see the episode of Sita Ji. That time we will see how Bhagwan lived, as a good husband. How was his dharma? So obedience is second point. First point is Vachan Purti. Second point is obedience. Third point is learning. Bhagwan Ram is the Lord himself, whose very breath is the Vedas. Does he need a guru? Does he need any knowledge? He doesn't need. But still, he goes vidhivat, he will go to the Gurukul, he studies. And he lives in the ashram with all austerities. No comforts, away from the family, he stays. Who are the gurus of Bhagwan Ram? Minimum 3 he had. One more. Vamadeva. Who said? Very good. That means you have read Valmiki Ramayana. Many people have not read, so they don't know. We should definitely read Valmiki Ramayana. Any other Ramayana you read, no problem, very good. But please read Valmiki Ramayana, because Valmiki Rishi was the contemporary of Bhagwan Ram. And Valmiki Rishi has written it as it happened. He has not added his masala or anything. It's not a mythology, please. It's not just a poem. It is itihasa. It thus happened. Itihasa. So the praman for us is Valmiki Ramayana. In Valmiki Ramayana it comes 3 gurus: Vashishta Rishi, Vamadev Rishi and Vishwamitra Rishi. And Bhagwan Ram stayed Gurukul, studied, learnt all the Astra Shastra, everything, learnt the Sandhya Vandan. He used to do Gayatri Sandhya morning, evening and follow the Vedic Dharma. So, though he is a very embodiment of knowledge, he follows what the scripture says. So that is the value that he gives to the scriptures. Because if he is living that, then everybody has to live it. And there also, with lot of humility. Throughout his life, he continues to learn. That is another quality we have to learn from Bhagwan Ram. No point in time one should think that I know it all. The moment that arrogance comes, we cannot follow Dharma after that. We will slip from Dharma. A person who wants to follow Dharma will always be in the attitude of a seeker of knowledge with humility. One will seek. Just before the war also, who taught Bhagwan Ram? War with Ravan happened, no? Agastya Muni taught what? Aditya Hridayam. Bhagwan Ram learnt Aditya Hridayam from him. He goes to various rishis, munis, tapasvis in the forest and he learns from them. He even visits Valmiki Rishi, Bharadwaj Muni. Different munis he goes and he learns from them. So that is another thing, a person who is a seeker will be a continuous learner. And learn what? Not only various skills, but learn about Dharma, learn about Brahma, learn about Bhakti, learn about Jnana, learn about Vairagya. So what the scripture says, Svadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaritavyam, Bhagwan Ram lived that Dharma in the Upanishads. He kept gaining knowledge also and he kept giving knowledge also. There is Ram Gita, there is Lakshman Gita. He gives the knowledge of Navadha Bhakti to Shabari. He gives knowledge to Vibhishan. Vibhishan Sharanagati happens. Different people. He gives knowledge to all of them. So, learning, sharing. Another aspect of Dharma. Because these are all very strong pillars of Dharma. If we are not anchored in scriptural knowledge and if we are not sharing it, we are not alert. Our ego takes us for a ride. Point 1. Point 2, how did our culture decline? We see Bhagwan Ram only as a avatar of the Lord. But when we say Dharma Samsthapana happens by this, not only by living Dharma, but also talking about it, sharing about it, and again learning about it, reflecting upon it. That is Dharma Samsthapana. Culture decline happened because we stopped studying our scriptures and we stopped sharing with people. And other people are reading our scriptures, misinterpreting them, cooking up wrong things, putting it in front of us, and then we are feeling sorry for it. Our scriptures are so outdated. Tell me, is there the incident of Dhobi speaking loosely about Sita ji? Is it there in Valmiki Ramayana? How many of you have read Valmiki Ramayana? See, one person there, two people have read Valmiki Ramayana. Just think about it. This is why the condition of our Hindu Dharma is declining, deteriorating, because we have not read our scriptures. Swamiji, Sanskrit is very difficult. Today so many translations are available. Authentic translations are available. My sincere request is, please take and read. Because if you read, you will know what is there in it. You will be able to explain to your children, grandchildren, everybody, because there is lot of wrong knowledge available everywhere. And people talk anything about Bhagwan Ram. That incident about the Dhobi is not even there in Valmiki Ramayana. It is not even there in Tulsi Ramayana. It is not even there in Kamba Ramayana. From where it has come, we don't know. Some other version, maybe it is there, or some cooking up people have done. But it is not there. Now think about it. We only don't know because we have not studied. And look at Bhagwan Ram's life. He studied the scriptures traditionally, vidhivat, from a guru. Then he continued to learn from various masters. See, what he has learned from Vasishtha Muni is the highest knowledge he got. From Vishwamitra Rishi, he got the knowledge of all Astra, Shastras, Bala, Atibala, all the Siddhis, everything he got. He doesn't need to read anymore. But he continues to learn from various people, continues to share that with other people also. So, if we want to do Dharma Paripalan, Ramayana, Bhagwan Ram's life is a very, very straight, clear example of how we must study our scriptures and share. What did our Gurudev dedicate his life to? 42 years he dedicated his life to tireless service of studying the scriptures and sharing the knowledge. Every single day, morning, evening, he was giving talks. Right? Why? Because that is the way to revive the Sanatana Dharma. That Dharma Samsthapana, what happens? The decline of Dharma happens means decline of vision of oneness. Decline of the vision of love. Selfishness will increase. Then the value systems go for a toss. Then people don't do their duties. What is the source of all this? Vision of oneness is not there. We don't feel one. Our ego keeps rising higher and higher. What helps us to live in oneness is the knowledge of the scriptures. See how Bhagwan Ram lived in vision of oneness. He was a prince of Ayodhya, but he was one with the common people. When he went from Ayodhya, the entire Ayodhya Vasis, they followed him. Till the banks of Tamasa river, they didn't want to leave him. The entire Ayodhya was empty. That level of identification he had with people. Even when he went into the forest, he lived with the tribals. He lived with the rishis, munis, sadhus, sannyasis. He was so kind, compassionate to even all the birds, trees, plants, animals, all of them. He took the help of monkeys and bears to fight with Ravan. He didn't discriminate anywhere. That is vision of oneness. That is Dharma Samsthapana. So if we see his life, that how he lived with vision of oneness, and he treated everybody appropriately, beautifully. Even those people whom he killed, the Rakshasas and Asuras, they went to Saket Dham. He gave them his abode. That is compassion. That is love. That is vision of oneness. So if we want to live Ramayana and like Bhagwan Ram, we have to live with the vision of oneness. What is that vision of oneness? Gurudev used to give a very beautiful example of the body. That is a clip that we will see now.
In order to develop this love, which is natural for everyone in yourself, from top, the crown, to the tip of your toe, you love you, isn't it? Even though the hands are not the legs are not the toes are not the fingers, the finger is not like the nose is not like the ears. Every part is different in shape, in name, and in function. What the eyes can do, the ears cannot do. What the nose can do, the tongue cannot do. They have got different functions. What the hands can do, the leg can never do. Within me, myself, there are so many different shapes, forms, purposes, or functions. And yet, am I not one? From the tip of the toe to the top of my crown, am I not one? How do you feel that is oneness? The hand is not the leg is not the thumb is not the nose, and yet I say is one. How? I pervade every cell in me. You may be 250 pounds, 6-footer with 60 chest. And if I bring a pin and say that for what you have done, we have decided that the pin must be put in, you choose, because democracy, you choose where it should be put. Right? In that huge body, this little pin, you cannot choose any place. You choose every place and say, no, 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 no. Until at last you say, if you must put the pin, why not try it on my neighbor? Why? Because every cell you love equally, because you know that it is me. Within your body you have got the feeling. In your body also. It is very often happens that your own finger goes to your own eyes. Has it not happened to you? Have you not beaten your own tongue? Even if you are the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, sense of justice, will you say that this finger unnecessarily went and hit the eyes? The eyes was always serving the finger whenever it was doing any work. Is unprovoked aggression. Isn't it? Like Sadat, let us go and chop off the finger as an example for the entire body politic, that there must be discipline in the body. Will you say that? When it is your own finger that goes to your eyes, immediately all the 5 fingers together as a committee goes to the eyes and start rubbing it and silently saying, I am sorry, I never meant it. Isn't it? The eyes, though watering, it is red, but it cannot even open the eyes. But I open the eyes and look at the finger and silently say, I know it, and I forgive my finger, isn't it? Supposing it is the finger of the man who is sitting next to you came in your eyes. Your sense of justice is cut his finger off. Let him learn how to. Why? He is something different from it. My friends, when you start really analyzing it, the whole world is your body. Just as every cell in you is so sacred, every living being in the outer world, every mineral piece in the world outside is a part of you. It is not anything other than you. With this understanding when comes a sense of goodwill towards all living beings, that they are not separate from me, service then becomes not a service before self or after self. It will be service as when my let us say, calf muscle is scratching. My hand goes and scratches. Does the hand ever say, leg, if you have got scratching, you scratch. Why should I do it? What will you give me for scratching? No, I run there and do it, isn't it? Why? The joy of that is the joy of the whole body. It is not only the leg, but it is the hand also. The comfort comes to the hand also. In the same way, wherever there is sorrow that I see, I run there and try to remove and wipe off as much as possible the tears of others, not because they are others, but they are my own sorrow. If this universal vision has come, and this is what Vedanta asks you, all the devotees are seeing Ram everywhere, meaning that one reality everywhere. Once you see that, the sense of plurality goes away. These distinctions at national level or communal level or even individual level was all wiped out into one divine presence. With this unfoldment in yourself, you shall find that the world is preserved. Even now the world is not destroyed. Only you create a destruction for yourself in the world. That's all. You make a hell of this world, but the world is staying there. If you stop doing this mischief, the world will reorganize itself. Learn to serve others without selfishness.
Basic point you understood. Vision of oneness, what Gurudev said. We have the feeling of oneness in the whole body. So even if one part of the body affects the other, the tongue bites the teeth, teeth bite the tongue, the eye, finger pokes the eye, we feel this is I, and so we don't try to chop the finger or break the teeth. But if it is somebody else, that is not me. Now if they do something, then we get angry, because that is where the duality comes. You see Bhagwan Ram's life. What is the fruit of living Dharma? The fruit of study of Shastra and living Dharma is compassion. If compassion is not there in our life, what is the purpose? What are we studying? What oneness? What Advaita? Nothing. You see, Gurudev studied Advaita Vedant, and was his heart not full of compassion? Samskriter vikshyahanim cha bharatasya cha dusthitim dravitam hridayam yasya vandeham tam mahamunim. When he saw the decline of the culture, when he saw the condition of Bharat, his heart was moved that this such a glorious land, wonderful culture, and why is it in this state? Let me go and share this knowledge. Though his guru said, don't go down. Those who want, they will come. But he said the urge is irresistible. And he went. Compassion. You see Bhagwan Ram's life. When Sita ji was kidnapped, what happened? He was mad. He was crying like anything, and he was in such anger and at the devatas, at the nature, and nobody is responding to his call that where is Sita? He was ready to destroy the whole creation. That much level of his love for Sita ji, and he was pained. But did he allow that to overwhelm him? When he found Jatayu has fallen, trying to save Sita ji, when he went to see Jatayu, he forgot his own pain. He was with Jatayu and he did the Agni Samskar of Jatayu. When he saw Sugriv and Hanumanji narrated the entire ordeal of Sugriv to him, he forgot his pain. He helped Sugriv. And then Chaturma started, and this Sugriv, he said, now we have to wait 4 months. Bhagwan was waiting patiently. Think about it. How much compassion he had. Like I told you, Asuras also he killed, he gave them mukti only. Shabri, when he saw, moved to tears. So many expressions you will see of compassion there in Ramayana. So if I want to live Dharma, if I am a dharmic person, compassion will come to me naturally. Where I see sorrow and suffering, there I try my best to go and help and serve in whichever way I can and remove sorrow and suffering. It can be for an individual, it can be for a community, it can be for any living beings, it can be for plants, dogs, animals, anyone. How much Bhagwan Ram's compassion it is. You think? So, another one quality is compassion. Another quality is sacrifice and austerity. There are different types of veers, you know. Vidyaveer, then Danaveer, Ranaveer. Of all the types of veer, the best and the first one is Tyagaveer. If I want to live Dharma, it is not possible without doing Tyag. Think about it. What makes us do adharma is love for comfort or attachment to some comfort. Bhagwan Ram's entire life is embodiment of Tyag and Tapasya. Though he is the Lord, and he didn't show any Ishwariya Leela, he lived as a human being. He sacrificed or not. Sacrifice is the very testing, what you call it, the quality that tests one's abidance of Dharma. If I am very strongly abiding in Dharma, I can do any Tyaga. Whether it is telling truth, whether it is doing one's duties, where I love to do something and my duty comes in my duty, something important comes up, there what will I choose? I love cricket and some cricket match is there, or I love some actor, some movie has released and I have some important work to do, what will I choose? That will show where my abidance is. So many parents do so much of Tyag for their children. They sometimes don't eat, they don't have enough things, but they will ensure that the child grows up properly. They may take loan, they may do anything, but the child has gone abroad to study. Because Tyag has happened. They could have lived comfortably, but because they have love, they are able to do Tyag. Bhagwan Ram did Tyag. And how many times did Bhagwan Ram renounce the kingdom? Twice. First time he was supposed to be made the Yuvraj, and then he is told that same night, you have to go to forest. He accepts without one argument. Another thing we have to learn from Bhagwan Ram is that ability to see positive. See, a lot of people think that, those who are dharmic people, they have to do Tyag, so they are bitter, they are very angry, they are negative, they are upset, because they have to suffer a lot. You look at Bhagwan Ram's life. When he is told that today morning, he is told that he has to be crowned as the prince next day morning. And everybody is doing all the tayaris and everything are happening. And that evening he is told that you have to go to forest. He does not even think for a moment that why should I go to forest. Not only that, his father is trying to tell him, don't go. It's all right. He is begging to Kaikeyi that don't send him to the forest. I will go instead of that. Or let Bharat be the king, but let Ram not go to forest. Many options he gives. Bhagwan Ram does not bother to give any options. In fact, he is convincing Dashrath Maharaj and he is thanking Kaikeyi, saying that I am very happy to go to forest. I will get to meet sadhus, sannyasis, I will get lot of satsang. It is very good life. Let me go there. Don't worry about me. I will be safe. I will be fine. He is trying to convince. So he is seeing the positive. A dharmic person will always see what is the positive side first. That is the strength of Dharma. Though there may be some pain one may have, but one knows to see the positive. That's a very important aspect. So Bhagwan let go of the kingdom at that time. And again second time he lets go of the kingdom. When Bharatji comes and tells him that please come back and become the king. He says no. Tomorrow we will take up that prasang also in detail. That why he did not go. Very important aspects are there to learn from that. So twice he gave up. This is one aspect of tyag that Bhagwan Ram did that all of us know. But all the others also did so much of tyaga, which they need not have done. They did it voluntarily. So, Lakshmanji need not have gone to the forest, but he volunteered and he went. Sitaji did not have gone to the forest, but she went. Bharatji, he agreed to rule the kingdom because Bhagwan Ram said, and that's the oath that, the promise that his father had given. But how did he stay? He stayed outside Ayodhya, living again as a tapasvi, not as a king. And if Bhagwan is walking on the ground, he says, I will stay underground. If Bhagwan sleeps on the ground, I am a sevak. I cannot sleep at the same level. So he lives underground in Nandigram. Look at the ideals that all these people have set. All are dharmic people. The level of dharma itself is increased because of this. Voluntarily they have taken up to follow the higher dharma. And that cannot happen unless there is tyag. Gurudev always said that comfort comes as a guest, lingers on to become the host, and then completely enslaves us. We start with small little comfort. थोड़ा 5 minutes extra सो जाएंगे आज सुबह. And that 5 minutes, that snooze button one puts, and it becomes how much? Half an hour, 1 hour gone. Little, just one sweet. Doctors allowed once in a while. One sweet. That what is once in a while? Every third day. It starts little bit and then it doesn't end. Not that there should not be any comfort in our life, but if comfort enslaves us, that is why we cannot follow dharma. Why is there so much corruption in the world? Because comfort, lifestyle, luxury, that's what one wants. This type of watch and that type of clothes and that type of shoes and this type of phone. In dharmic way, what I can earn, yallabhase nija karmo patam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Where that today's world, we are living exact opposite, no? People say contentment is not good. Don't be content in life. Then you cannot progress. And that's why we are going through a lot of stress and anxieties and tension, because no matter how much we get, we are still unhappy. Santosh. Bhagwan Ram was able to receive whatever life brought, anchored in dharma, accepted it. So sacrifice, tyaga. And continuously his life is an expression of tyaga. And austerity. That is one more aspect. Now I'll come to one last aspect for today. Like I began by saying that Bhagwan Ram's avatar happened to teach us human beings how to live dharma. If you see in Valmiki Ramayana, Bhagwan Ram is depicted as a human being going through all range of emotions like a normal human being will go through. In Tulsi Ramayana, Bhagwan is depicted as the Lord. So everybody is a bhakta of Bhagwan, including Ravan, including Vali. Everybody is a devotee, because the purpose of Valmiki Ramayana is to show abidance in dharma in all respects, in all human conditions. Purpose of Tulsi Ramayana is to invoke devotion for Bhagwan. So the purpose is different. That's why I say Valmiki Ramayana, when we read, we start appreciating Bhagwan Ram very differently, because what a person he was. See, we only think that Bhagwan Ram was always a righteous person, a good person, a strong person, and he didn't go through any emotions. No, if you see Valmiki Ramayana, so many emotions he goes through, just like you and me. When he hears, so in Tulsi Ramayana, if you see, I'll just give one example of comparison. Each one I cannot give comparison of each incident. In Tulsi Ramayana, Tulsidaji says that you see the face of Bhagwan Ram when he was told that he will be crowned the king, and when he was told that he has to go to exile. At both the times his face was same. That is one example given there. Valmiki Ramayana, you see what will come. When he hears that he has to go to exile, at that time he doesn't show the emotion. As I said, he tells the advantages of going and how he will keep up the word and all that. Then he goes to Kaushalya Devi to tell her the news. In Tulsi Ramayana, it is said, he goes and tells Pita Dinu Mohe Kanana Raju. Father has given me the kingdom of forest. In Valmiki Ramayana, he goes and tells the truth as it is. He doesn't give the flowery language, but he says that I need to go. This is the boon Father has given to Kaikeyi and I need to go, so I will be proceeding and Bharat has to rule. He will explain very equanimously with balance. From there he goes to Sita Ji. Now you should read that portion. When he goes to Sita Ji, he is not able to tell her. First he cries. He completely breaks down in front of Sita Ji. He doesn't have this stupid male chauvinist type of an ego saying, I am superior and how can I cry, mard ko dard nahi hota and she is my wife and she is weaker than me and if I cry what she will think. Nothing. He breaks down. He cries in front of Sita Ji and he says that what wrong did I do? Why do I have to go to this forest? What is this have I done? Inconsolable he is. Sita Ji is consoling him after that. So he goes through that one. Second, when Lakshman is telling him that, I also want to come. You know what he tells Lakshman? He says, Lakshman, you have to be here because you have to protect Mother Kaushalya and Sumitra because I do not trust Kaikeyi. What she will do, she can even kill them. So you are required to protect. So Bhagwan Ram suspects Kaikeyi. Suspicion is there in his mind. But he has to be cautious because suddenly this lady has flipped. So he suspects. Third, I'm just giving a few examples, like there are a lot of examples are there. When Bharat is coming with the army and Ayodhya Vasis to receive him, again Bhagwan Ram suspects Bharat also. In Tulsi, we see that Bhagwan Ram consoles Lakshman Ji saying that, he is not coming to fight me, Bharat is a very different, because there Bharat is a devotee. Here he suspects and he says that this Bharat, why is he coming here now? Suspicion is there. And when finally the whole episode with Bharat Ji happens and he goes back, again Bhagwan Ram cries. Again he tells to Lakshman and Sita Ji that what wrong did I do, what bad karma did I do, why do I have to suffer here, how does he get to be in the kingdom and I am very jealous of him. So there is jealousy in Bhagwan Ram about Bharat. It's very interesting what all Bhagwan Ram goes through. When this Sugriv, he is enjoying in the Prashravana cave, he is enjoying there. Because Chaturmas, now Bhagwan Ram feels helpless. He feels that he is not able to do anything and again he feels envious of this Sugriv. He says Sugriv has his wife, the rainy season is also there, he has his kingdom, he got back his wealth, all his ministers are with him and look at my condition. And in rain of course you pine more for your beloved. So he says, I am separated from my beloved, I don't have my kingdom, nobody is there with me and this Sugriv also is not doing anything to send people to search Sita Ji. So he gets jealous, he gets helpless and he gets angry. Not only Varuna, he gets angry with Sugriv. He wants to go and finish him. But when he sends Sugriv, when he sends Lakshman Ji to Sugriv, Lakshman Ji can see the anger that Bhagwan Ram had. So he tells for formality, he will tell and he also explains it saying, don't be angry on Sugriv. He tells Lakshman Ji, don't be angry on Sugriv, but remind him what he has to do. See that control that he has there. What I am trying to say with all this is, Bhagwan Ram also went through lower emotions of anger, jealousy, suspicion, helplessness, all that like any of us, but it did not prevent him from doing his dharma. Many instances like that will come in Ramayana, where Bhagwan Ram goes through tremendous upheaval. Like I said earlier, he gets angry and he wants to destroy the whole creation for his wife. Just imagine what intensity of love that he has for Sita ji, that he wants to destroy the whole creation. That if you people don't answer, he asks the mountains, the hills, the deers, the rivers, the devatas, where is my Sita? You tell me. They don't reply. He says, I will destroy this entire creation. That extreme level of emotion, he can go through that. Sadness he can go through. Jealousy he goes through. Suspicion he goes through. Sorrow he goes through. Pain he goes through. Everything he goes through. But he does not shake from his abidance in Dharma. That is the strength of Bhagwan Ram. That is what we have to learn from his life. Tremendous level of control on the emotions. Any person who has abidance in Dharma is not that the life of that person will be dull like a vegetable. No. That person may go through ups and downs because life is like that. It can bring any situation to us. And that's why we say that Bhagwan Ram's life is not some ideal type of a life. If you see actually what all pain he has gone through, difficulties he has gone through, do you think it was easy for him to rule that same Praja who accused him and Sita ji, and that Sita ji had to go away to the forest? How many years did he rule? 11,000 years. In Valmiki Ramayana it comes that the year calculation is mind-boggling. That I have still not been able to sort out there. Dashrath Maharaj's life is 60,000 years. You just think 60,000 years. Now what is the level of calculation of years? I still don't understand. वो सब छोड़ दो अभी. So you think about it. Will you be able to rule with dharma and objectivity that same praja which has suspected Sita ji and because of whom you have been separated from Sita ji? How will that person rule? That is the emotional control and abidance in dharma that Bhagwan had. No raga and dvesha. Look at that. No dvesha towards the praja that these people, they don't deserve me. Together let us go to the forest. He could have taken that stand. Me and Sita will go away together to the forest. No, he didn't take that stand. And look at Sita ji's life also. Again, that is dharma palan. She readily goes and she accepts also, and she is telling also Lakshmanji that tell Ram that I am with him in the decision. If you look at each character, how they have done their dharma is fantastic. They could have been greedy, like all the four brothers. They could have been, Bharatji could have been very happy with the kingdom. Bhagwan Ram could have compromised with the values. Was Bhagwan Ram not capable that he could have actually put aside Dashrath Maharaj and become the king? He could have fought with Bharatji and become the king. But he didn't run behind just the material kingdom. By following dharma, what did he do? He ruled the hearts of people. He became the king of people's hearts. That is enough. Material prosperity comes and goes. If he had taken up the kingdom like that, would people really love Bhagwan Ram? They would not have. So many kings have done it. They have killed their own fathers and become kings. But that is not dharma. So in all different emotional turbulences of life also, he is the one who remains anchored. So it is not that we will not go through ups and downs. We will also go through tremendous, like Gurudev used to say, let not the storms of your heart cover the sun in your head. That embodiment of that is Bhagwan Ram. How much ever anger he may have, you just think about it. When the entire episode happened, right, of kidnapping of Sita ji, and then Ravan took her away, and then the whole war happened, so many monkeys died, everything happened. Anywhere in the Ramayana has Bhagwan told Sita ji, what you did was wrong, you should not have done this? Did he shout at her, saying that you should not have done this? He never told her that. Bhagwan Ram told her twice that that is not a golden deer, that is a Rakshas. She didn't listen. She still wanted that golden deer. Lakshmanji also is telling her that, Bhagwan Ram is not needing any help. That is a Rakshas who is trying to, fool us. She didn't listen. She suspected Lakshmanji also. And in spite of all that, after everybody telling her, she still insisted and she got kidnapped. By the way, is Lakshman Rekha there in Valmiki Ramayana? It is not there. In Tulsi Ramayana also there is only one indication. In the Aranyakand it doesn't come. There is no Lakshman Rekha. Some other version it will be there. So the point is, though she is told, she doesn't listen and it lands up in so many other troubles. But did Bhagwan Ram get angry and tell her that what you did was wrong and because of you all of us have suffered? He didn't blame her at all. That's the emotion and control. So we may go through emotional turbulences, but if we are anchored in values and dharma, we will know how to control. So for today I will stop here. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.